Hello and welcome to 1988's Lombard RAC Rally. This is the very first rally simulation game that was ever made, to the best of my knowledge. I was feeling a bit nostalgic lately. I thought I'd go back and play some of the old Colin McRae rally games. And then I started looking into it and I was like, hey, this game doesn't look too bad either, from earlier in the 90s. And then it got to the point where I was like, you know what, let's just go back right to the very beginning. And play the first one that I could find. So yeah, 1988, this is now the oldest game I've ever played. I think previously it was probably a handful of games on the Game Boy, which came out in, 1989? So yeah, this is a year earlier. And I'll slowly introduce things. So you see, we have the full rally here, or you can do the individual legs of the rally. Now in 1988, the rally was over 5 days, Sunday to Thursday. Which is what I'm going to be doing. So I'll be doing one leg of the rally each day. The stages in this game are incredibly short. They're only 1 minute to 2 minutes each, so it shouldn't take us too long. There is a 16th stage as well in the practice, but I'll quickly explain how the game works. So you'll see, first of all, in order to do the full rally, you have to set a time in all of these first. I wouldn't even recommend doing the full rally because it's 15 non-stop stages without any chance to repair your car. So as well as the stages, you also have practice, as explained. And if I load the workshop here, you can see I can work on my car. So I can repair the bodywork, the suspension, the engine, and the tires. And I can also upgrade my car. So on the right hand side, you see car specification, engine standard, drive rear, extras, well, none at the moment. I can upgrade to a more advanced 2-litre engine. I can go to a 2.8-litre V6, which is way more powerful than anything the actual car had in real life. This is essentially just like a hyperdrive in this game. Your car goes absurdly fast. You can switch back to rear-wheel drive if you had swapped to 4-wheel drive. So this being the RS Cosworth, I'm going to keep it rear-wheel drive. But I think there were some Cosworths that were 4x4. I'm trying to remember what they were called. I think it was like just X4 or something like that. And then each one had their pros and cons in the different rally stages in the 80s. I mean, the Cosworth was not a front-running car for the most part. I mean, it was just largely a domination in the late 80s. But it is a classic British rally car. You'll also see we can improve our lighting. So standard driving lamps and fog lamps. We can improve our car, and that will help us see during the night stages and during the fog as well. I'm not sure specifically where the improvement or which one helps with it, because I've only ever used both at once. I would recommend getting these straight away, both lights. So I can look through the stages here. You'll see that these stages are on the road, in the forest, and you need to get different times of day. So these ones are normal and nighttime. There's some fog in that one, all normal there, more fog, and I think there's one final night stage at the very end there as well. And they don't really get progressively difficult. So some stages, like I would say this Carlisle to Harrogate here, is by far and away the hardest leg of the game. But there's other ones that give more money, like the first stage is comparatively easy. Second one's easier still, and yet they both give more money. But they don't give you enough money unless you're like driving at a snail's pace or have like an absolutely perfect path through the levels, through the stages, I should say. You will take more damage than winning first place will give you. So kind of an absurd twist. You have to get most of your money from the TV interviews in the game. You get 5 questions, and each one gives you $50, or £50 rather. And if you answer one right, you get 50. If you get one wrong, you get negative 20. So ideally, you can get up to £250 per TV interview you do. You can only do one between stages. So if I wanted to do multiple TV interviews to earn cash, I'd need to do a stage between each interview. Or a leg, I should say. I think even if you quit out after one stage, it won't be enough to let you do another one. I'm going to load a previous stage here. Okay, and if I go to my workshop here, you'll see that my car is fully kitted out. It's rather unrealistic at this V6 4x4 setting. I was just doing that just to get a feel for the stages. I'm going to switch to the slightly less powerful but more realistic engine here. It also makes the car a hell of a lot easier to drive. Rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive doesn't do what you think it would do. Essentially, four-wheel drive just means when you're off the road, you don't lose as much speed as you would in rear-wheel drive. The handling characteristics in this 1988 game are very primitive, so there is not a lot in terms of handling feel between these two settings. I'm going to go rear-wheel drive. That's what the car had in real life. And it, of course, has the fog lights and spotlights as well. And then we will go into the practice round, and then I will go look at the first leg of the game. Now, if you look at the left-hand side, you can see my timer. The one at the bottom, the clipboard, is my current stage time, and the timer above it is the overall time for the leg of the route I'm on. The 6 dials in the middle of the dash there, they will represent different damage to different components on the car, so you can damage your tires, your suspension, your engine, I forget the other one, the bodywork. Tires and bodywork aren't reflected there, but suspension and engine both are. Don't ask me how they are. A dial is supposed to represent damage to suspension, but that's what's happening. And then on the right hand side you get your speedometer and tachometer as well. There's no shift or the shift gear button for this game is the same for both up and down, and you can only shift gear when you're either accelerating or decelerating. So that's a bit funny to play around with, and it will kind of cause you some problems when you first start out. And also you can't shift down too soon either, so you can't over-rev the engine, the car just won't shift down, and so what will happen is you'll feel like you're going kind of slow in the wrong gear. You'll try to shift down, but it won't happen. All you'll do is just go even slower. So you do kind of get yourself into these awkward situations where you can't get your car to accelerate very fast. Anyway, I will do the practice stage here. Oh, one last thing actually before I begin. That clipboard, it looks like it's going to be a map of the stage. Right, well first of all, that clipboard is a map of stage 1, not of the practice stage at all, so we can completely discount it for this practice stage. But worse than that, it is wildly inaccurate. You will see hairpins that are complete straight lines. More importantly though, the map is miles ahead of where you are. So I happen to know on stage 1 you'll see that there's a right hand turn right at the beginning of the stage here according to that clipboard. There's no co-driver in this game in case you're wondering, it's just this clipboard. That right hand turn is about 10-15 seconds down the road, and then that kind of right left is a very tight kink that follows, I don't know, 5 seconds after that. And then yeah, you'll just see as I progress along the clipboard will light up blue to kind of mark my progress, but it's not even close. So don't look at the clipboard ever, you're only going to go wrong with it. Anyway, let's try and do the practice stage now. Alright, let's get underway then. Now, this first stage, it's just a practice one, it's not too difficult. However, it is so up and down that it is incredibly disorientating. You can't really see where you're going at the best of times. The car only has 4 gears in this game, regardless of what engine you have, and it seems as well... I hit a bush there trying to overtake that guy. Yeah, there are AI drivers on the road, only ever 1 per stage, and they vary between 2 cars. That one there is the, what's it called? Peugeot 205. Don't ask me what it's doing in 1988. But I think the other one's supposed to be an Opel Manta, I'm not really sure. Maybe someone can correct me on that one. Now, depending on the kind of impact you have, you'll hear a light beep if you hit something just lightly, and it will kind of steer your car back onto the road for you. If you hit something hard, the car will just stop dead. Now that I've done that practice round though, let's do the first leg, that is Harrogate to Telford. I think that's how you say those. 3 stages, 2 normal ones. The first one is on road, the second 2 are in forest and at night. However, we have all our lights fitted to the car, so we'll have a wee bit more visibility than we might otherwise expect. Let's get underway though. Alright, let's get the first leg underway then. I want to accelerate up to top speed as quick as we can. Gonna go over a crest here into a dip. And despite what the map says, we've not yet gone around that first right hand turn. That is coming up over the next crest here. You can carry quite a lot of speed around this turn if you're careful. There's a 205 there, I'm going to sneak past it on the left before this very challenging right left kink. I'll slow right down. and then we have a very long, very fast section here. Will be full throttle for quite a while. Oh yeah, also the middle dial, or the bottom middle dial in the dash, that is my throttle there. Now, the way the engine works in this game is if you are full throttle, or you kind of drive your car in a vacuum in a sense, in so much as if you lift off the throttle, it will keep going at the exact same speed. So you can see when I'm accelerating, decelerating, based off that, well, the game calls it turbo meter in the manual, but it essentially just reflects your throttle. Now, this corner tightens right at the end here, so it's a bit deceptive. Speaking of deceptive, this next crest coming up here is really tricky. You want to stay right on it, and through this last kink, and then full speed towards the finish. Now, the way it works, it's not the red flag here that time stops, it's actually the stop sign. So we've just ploughed through a whole crowd of people there, waiting on the other side of the stop sign, but we're straight into the second stage now. Watch out for right at the beginning here, you want to stick to the left. No, you don't. You want to stick to the left here. And then we're driving on what can only be described as lava, but this is supposed to be dirt. This stage is quite open. We seem to be in kind of open grassland here as opposed to in a forest. This is going to catch me out here. Oh no, we're not quite as far into the stage as I thought we were, I don't think. Oh wow, clip that bush there. That's not good. Stage is quite windy, and there's lots of turns just over crests which you just can't predict, and then at the very end like that. Try not to hit that tree, which is exactly what I did. So you see, when you hit something hard like that, the game will reset you back to the middle of the stage. Hopefully I'll still be able to get somewhat decent time, but of course this is right at the end here. This stage ends with a very long straight. You want to carry as much speed onto it as possible. Straight into the third stage now. This is one of only 2 night stages. Just waiting for that right hand turn. Here it is. Sticking third round those couple sequence of turns. Another right hand turn coming up here. I don't think this is, oh my god, too fast there. Come on. In the wrong gear. But see, I'm too high to be able to shift down there. Right, let's try and get past this 205 on the straight. I think we might be coming up on the end of the stage here. I'm less familiar with this one. Night stages all suck in this game. Come on now. Show me the end. Here it comes. Just need to stick to the middle. 4:14. I don't think that was a terrific time. I did have that one big accident. Prize one came second place, so I think it must have been 4:10 that we were going for. But still, not a bad first leg of the rally. There is no overall leaderboard. If you're looking to see how I did, even if you do the full Lombard RAC rally here, there's nothing to tell you whether you are winning or losing against the AI. Oh, 4:05, that was the target for that first leg. All you have to do, the only difference is the third place time there is the minimum time, and if you fail to qualify, I guess, or finish under that time, you will just be disqualified from the overall rally. But like I said, there's no repairs that you can make after the Lombard RC rally, so there's only one thing left to do. That is to use the workshop here to repair our car. Now, I only had one major accident, which I think is the engine mostly, and I think bodywork goes up with both major and minor accidents. Suspension is where we kind of go off the road. You can, even if you don't hit anything, just being off the road increases the damage to your suspension. And finally, let's repair the tires. Tires goes up regardless. I think they do also take damage, like from actual accidents as well, because you can crawl through the rally. And this is what I actually recommend, is crawl through your first rally at very low speeds, and then get these lights as quick as possible. And then 150 plus, if you get 250 in the quiz, you can then get this the next time out. If you do that twice in a row, that is only 350, I think, for the lights and the fastest engine in the game. No, how could it be 350? It's 500. So you need to get the max score on 2 TV quizzes in a row. And then once you have those 2 things, the game becomes a lot easier. Anyway, that's all for this first episode. The next episode will be a lot shorter because I'm only going to be doing the next 2 legs. So next up it is Telford to Harrogate. And that is going to be at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again.